Hi, and welcome to King of 94, a NHL 94 tournament that we hold in Toronto each year, which we call our NHL 94 World Championship Tournament. My name is Daryl, and I go by Halifax, and I'm going to go over some details in this video. If you're a new player, on what you can expect, and if you're a returning player, there might be some new information too. You'll see a list there of all the things that we'll kind of go over in this video over the next few minutes. So first thing I'll talk about is the history of King of 94. It started in 2015 by Mikey McBrien. He ran it for a couple of years, which I helped out with, and another gentleman named Michael, who goes by Mazoma in the community for a couple of years. And then in 2018, Mike handed it off to us, and we've kind of ran with it since. So now our 8th tournament is coming up here in the fall in September. It's going to take place again in Toronto, and I'll give you some more details on that shortly on where that's going to take place. We have two different tournaments. One is the Super Nintendo tournament, one is the Sega Genesis tournament. So we have a champion for each, and each tournament, the champion also gets some cash prizes as well. The top three actually will get cash prizes, and the top finisher will get the King of 94 trophy. This tournament is a not-for-profit tournament, so all the money that we collect for it actually just goes right back into the tournament for expenses to pay for things like trophies, some advertising, we buy some prizes, and then the rest that we give away is cash prizes. Time and location. So this is going to take place at Free Play Toronto, which is right sort of close to downtown Toronto, from my understanding. I don't live in Toronto, but I've been told that it's a great spot. It's an arcade bar that has a lot of those old style arcade games. So things that you used to play back in the 80s and 90s, NHL arcade 2-on-2 and those kinds of things. So there's lots to do as part of the event. So, once you're done your tournament, then you can go and play some games. There's bubble hockey as well and that type of thing. So the tournament itself runs from 12 to 7 o'clock each day. It's $60 to participate in the tournament. And then we're going to do a side tournament on Friday night called the King of Griffey, which is played on one of the old school Super Nintendo King Griffey games. I'll go over that a little bit later on here in the video. Some more details about it. We have players that play online that have been doing it for a long time. They like to come to attend. And some players that have been in the community for a long time that don't play online, they also come as well. So we have a mixture of skill level. What you'll find there is players are typically aged from 30 up to 50, but there is no restriction to age. Anybody that can come. We actually have one guy who brings his son who's played in the last couple of tournaments. I believe he's 13 or 14 years old now, and he's really good too. So there is no age restriction for this tournament. We have found that it's been interesting because the first 3 tournaments, we thought that online players were going to win this, but it turns out, at least on the Super Nintendo side, that we had the first 3 tournaments were all won by players that didn't play online. So we actually thought that was pretty cool, and we know that there are players out there that, for a lack of a better word, maybe undiscovered, that could play in this tournament and win it. And we hope that happens again. On the Sega side, it's been a different story. It's only been won by online players, and we're hoping that at some point, at least I hope that at some point, if you're watching, you've never played in a tournament before, that you'll come and win this tournament, not having played an online game. We think that would be a really cool thing to see. So hopefully it will happen, but we don't know whether it will or won't. But I guess we'll find out maybe in this tournament or maybe in a future tournament. We play mostly on the old systems. So we get the Sega consoles, the Super Nintendo consoles, play on the old CRT TVs as best as we can. We try and get as much of that equipment as we can. Obviously, we don't own it, so we ask for help from the community to bring some stuff. And sometimes what that means is that we end up playing on, some flat screens and other stuff too, but we do our best to try and keep it as original as we can. We provide controllers as well, but I always encourage people to provide their own controllers, just because, the controls we have are good, but they may not be, the buttons may be not as perfect as you like them. Registration this year is going to be capped at 35 players. We have never capped it in the past, and this is because of the time restraint that we have. to finish the tournament. Typically, it's a 9 to 10 hour tournament. Now we got to squeeze it into 7 hours. And so the max that we felt we could do to make sure it got done on time was 35 players, and that's it. So I would encourage you, if you want to play with it, the registration is going to open up July 1st, and you'll want to get in right away. I would not suggest waiting, because then you might not make it into the tournament. The last two tournaments we've had around that number, and we were expecting probably around the same, maybe a bit more this time, but 35 will be capped at the amount. And we give away door prizes as well. So lots of door prizes. We buy some door prizes. People bring some of their own. We ask for some donations, and that happens as well. And you're guaranteed 6 games for the tournament. The format and schedule will start at 12 o'clock noon. So that's your sign-in time. That's when we're going to do the door prizes. And the bracket will, round robin will start at 12:30, and the bracket will start at 2:30. We do split up the tournament after the round robin into 3 separate brackets. So a king bracket, a duke bracket, and what we call a puke bracket. I think of it as an A, B, and C, because we want to give everybody a chance to win something. There are guys that come to this that are really good, and there are guys that come to it that are less skilled. They just want to have fun, but a chance to win to something. And this format helps with that. And then you can kind of see there a breakdown of how we sort that out. So, what has changed for this tournament? And this is probably more so for players year over year that continue to compete. So, if you're new, you wouldn't even notice the difference. But for those that are coming back that were there last year, we're playing less round robin games. We're only doing 4 this time, again, because it has to do with time constraints. We had 6, we dropped it to 4 and helped us save a little bit of time. We're adding a top 5 group. What that means is top 5 players from years past that register will play in their own group, and they will play for the top 4 seeds and the 6th seed. Why are we doing this? It's based on feedback that we've had from some surveys that we've done. A lot of guys don't that are new to it, and they find that if they get blown out in the round robin, it's not fun for them, and that usually happens from these top players. So we decided this time to kind of reduce the impact on that. We know that they're going to make the king of bracket anyways. They always do. And so this is a way for them to just kind of play amongst themselves, and an opportunity for the other guys to earn their spot into the King of 94 tournament. One small change on the loser side bracket. Basically, it's the semifinal of the tournament between the 2nd and 3rd place team to advance to the final. It used to be a best of 3. We're shrinking it down to a best of 1 to save us some time there. The 6-goal spread mercy rule. It used to be 6-goal mercy rule. The game was over, and we're not going to do that anymore for the round robin, because some guys were losing, in the second period, and they felt like they didn't even get a chance to play the whole game. So now we're saying play the whole game, but it's only going to be a 6-goal spread. So regardless of what the score is, even if you win by 8 or 9 goals, we're only going to take whatever the lowest team scored and then add on 6, and that will be the final score. So even if you're losing 6-0, you still have a chance to help your plus minus by scoring some more goals and trying to make the game close, because plus minus is a factor when it comes to seeding. That's one of the tiebreakers. If it goes to playoffs, there is no spread. It's 6 goals and it's over, because at that point, plus minus doesn't matter anymore. So we just 6 goals, and then that was when the mercy rule comes into effect for playoff games only. The King of Griffey tournament. This is a side tournament, which I'm also really excited about. We had it last time. It's the King of Griffey presents MLB tournament. King Griffey Jr. presents MLB, and it is the first of the Super Nintendo series, if you weren't sure which game that was. So that'll take place Friday night from 6 to 11. It's at Toby's Pub, so it's at a different location, but it's close by. It's only about a block away, 5-minute walk, and we weren't able to have it at Free Play just because they have some other things going on that night. So we're having it at a different venue. But cool thing about it is that's the 30th anniversary of the last time the Blue Jays won the World Series. So it'll just be a kind of a fun way to celebrate that. And the tournament itself, I really like it. It's a bit of an unconventional type tournament. We only play 6 innings, mostly to keep the game short. And we add a little fun at the 5th and 6th inning. It allows you to add on your first and second batter of the inning. And this kind of creates some more cool finishes, some fun ending finishes to the game. So it'll be a lot of fun. You're guaranteed 4 games. And if you're playing in the Super Nintendo NHL 94 and you want to play in this one as well, we'll give you a $20 discount. So you'll get it for $70 and you can play in both. If you're playing in the Sega tournament and you wanted to play in this, I can make a ticket for you. That's no problem. I just didn't think that anybody would be probably playing Friday night, not play Saturday, and then play on Sunday. So, but if there is, yeah, you can let us know. There'll be an email at the end, which you can reach out to us. You'll see rules and format there too, found at King of 94. And there, when you king94.com or .ca, either one works. You go there, there's the rules. NHL 94 rules and format are at the top, and the King of Griffey rules and format are at the bottom. You just scroll down. Okay. And some ways to contact us. Email is probably the best, nhl94king@gmail.com. Both myself and Michael, we usually check it out once every day or two, so we'll get back to you as soon as we can. You'll see the king94.com website, which has some rules, the tournament format, and also some recaps as well as previous tournaments if you kind of wanted to check out some extra content. There's the rest of the ways that you can contact us. If you're on any of those platforms and you want to be part of that, it's for this tournament and just NHL 94 discussion, sometimes old school video hockey games as well. So that's all part of it as well. But anyways, there's the information. Thanks again for watching, and I really hope that you want to come to this tournament. It is a lot of fun. I've been doing it helping out since 2015. I played in it every time, and it is such a blast for a weekend. So I always say to people, don't think of it as a weekend where you hoping that you can win money and all that. Treat it as a getaway for a day or two, and you'll meet some really cool people, and you're going to play your favorite video game for a day and see how you do. All right, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching, and hope you'll be there.